You owe everyone a favor. Watch the population rise. And if you want them to like you more, that only costs you who you are. Keep away from the ground. Living close to the ones who left us. Release them. I've been thinking lately about the writing on the wall. How I died for your approval. Like this for far too long. It's like a nightmare. Doing what you want, just like a nightmare. It's such a nightmare. Trying to keep everyone happy, just a nightmare. Keep away from the ground. Living close to the ones who left us. Release them. Have you ever felt this free? Like I am you and you are me. It's such a nightmare. Trying to keep everyone happy, just a nightmare. Keep away from the ground.
If it's Thursday, it's time for Mystic Racing League action. Welcome, race fans. I'm Ellis Thomas, joined tonight in the booth by Chris Smith and Johnny Rapp for Slingshot Racing Media. And tonight, we are bringing you race number 25, the penultimate regular season race for the Fall Creek Plumbing National Series, live from the bullring at Indianapolis Raceway Park. Just 7 miles west of downtown Indy, nestled on what was once a 250-acre farm, sits the legendary IRP. Born back in 1958, the facility was originally imagined as a sprawling 2.5-mile road course with a drag strip and an oval plan for later additions. That vision, however, quickly evolved. By 1960, the venue was alive with the roar of engines across multiple racing disciplines. That oval we know today that we're going racing on took shape after a major resurfacing and leveling project back in 1988, giving the track its current character, a short 0.65-mile bull ring where space is always at a premium and every inch of asphalt is hard-earned. Its relatively narrow racing groove demands precision, patience, and just the right touch of aggression. Over the decades, IRP has been the stage for some of the most intense short track battles in American motorsports. It's a track that rewards rhythm and punishes mistake. Chris, it's one of the only places in the country where you can watch drag racing, oval racing, and road course racing without ever leaving the property. But tonight, it's all about that bull ring. And I know the drivers are going to have their hands full out there. What's it going to take to make it to the end of these 200 laps?
Well, Indianapolis Raceway Park has been a fan favorite for decades. It's a place where USAC legends cut their teeth. Drivers like Jeff Gordon and Tony Stewart going on to become NASCAR champions. It's a place that rewards the fans because there's multiple lanes, side-by-side racing from green flag to checkered flag. It will be very, very difficult on these drivers tonight. They have 200 laps around this bull ring tonight. 80% of the fuel tank is available to them, one fast repair, and stage breaks at lap 55 and 110. It will be a night full of action here at Indianapolis Raceway Park.
We're going to be following all that action all night long. We're going to set it up with some stories for you fans watching at home momentarily. But before we get to that, it is time for everyone's favorite pre-race tradition. Folks, rise and remove those caps, if able, for the playing of the national anthem. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Indianapolis, and tonight we're not at the Yard of the Bricks down the street. Tonight we're at the Bullring, Indianapolis Raceway Park, gearing up for race number 25, the penultimate regular season race for the Fall Creek Plumbing National Series. There is a lot on the line tonight. We've got a couple drivers on the bubble. There's always bragging rights with who's going to take home the trophy at this race tonight. Those are going to be a few of the stories that we're following, Chris. But first of all, let's talk about the points. With just 2 races remaining in the regular season, it continues to be tight around the bubble. You can see those handful of drivers that are still trying to race their way in. And if any of those were to win tonight, they could rocket themselves right into a playoff berth. Obviously, the top 10 or so already locked in on points, but anything can happen from behind them. If you're one of those drivers at the top of the grid tonight in terms of points, how are you racing? Are you just letting it all hang out, or are you trying to be conservative and just get consistent movement going before the playoffs begin?
Yeah, I think if I'm one of those drivers up there at the top, Ellis, it's all about trying to, rack up those victories, rack up all those points that I possibly can to put myself in a better position to, once this regular season ends and the playoffs begin. So I think I'm going to let it all hang out tonight and possibly next week as well to try to grab all the points that I can possibly grab. Going to have our eyes set on those 3 right there that are around the bubble, Ellis. Brett Wren, David Moyer, and Alan Zukov. I think it's those 3 right there that are really feeling the pressure.
We'll be keeping an eye on those drivers all night long. Let us know in the chat what driver you are rooting for tonight. Speaking of drivers, they're going to have their hands full tonight managing tires. That's our #1 story. Anytime we go to a short track, tires are on the mind. Chris, what makes it so difficult to hang on to that rubber here at a short track like IRP?
Well, Ellis, with these Xfinity cars, they have a lot less downforce than some of the other NASCAR vehicles with the small rear spoiler on the backs of these things. So these drivers are, I've seen a lot of drivers spinning their tires on corner exit. These cars getting very free, very loose on corner exit. So yeah, I'm going to be watching for drivers buzzing those rear tires tonight. And once that happens and once those temperatures begin to go up on those rear tires, it just slows you down and puts you a little bit more out of control.
We know IRP is a short track. It is tight confines here at Indianapolis Raceway Park. We're going to have a fight for space all night long. Short tracks tend to bring out those battles that are constantly going on, and tires are going to be a premium, but space on the track is going to be a premium. What's the best way to pass around here?
Ellis, it's one of the more difficult short tracks to pass at. It's not difficult to get side-by-side here. It's relatively easy to get side-by-side because there are multiple lanes. However, the driver that is on the outside is at a significant advantage of being able to hold off a faster driver that is on the inside. So you're going to have really good roll speed if you're going to be able to try to complete the pass on the driver on the outside. That, or maybe a little bit of bump and run possibly to get by that driver in front of you.
Speaking of bump and runs, we've seen the intensity in recent weeks continue to pick up with, maybe a little bit more heat on track for some of these drivers between each other. Tonight's a short track. It's an opportunity maybe to get a little payback for something that happened last week at Darlington or maybe several weeks back that you've been sitting on. What do you think? Are we going to see some bump and runs tonight?
Yeah, short tracks are probably the place where, you see those receipts get paid pretty often, more than any other track, Ellis. I wouldn't be a bit surprised if we do see it tonight. I think that some of these drivers, might need to be careful about doing that because, their playoffs are coming up and, you never know when that retaliation for anything that happens tonight might show up, especially when it matters in the playoffs.
Well, speaking of this race, obviously tonight we are very close to the start of it. Last story, these drivers got to maximize their restarts. Their first opportunities going to be on this green flag. You expect to see some wild corners for the first couple of laps?
Yeah, I wouldn't be a bit surprised, Ellis, if we see an early caution tonight, with the way that this track sort of starts and restarts. Restarts are going to be critical all night. I mentioned how hard it was to pass before, and sometimes just the lane choice. I think the lane choice is going to be critical tonight, and choosing the best lane possible and trying to complete that pass, at that stage of the race instead of later on once we go green for several laps.
Well, speaking of green, we are almost there, folks. Getting ready for the green flag, which means it's time to take a look at that starting lineup tonight for the O'Reilly 200 in the Fall Creek Plumbing National Series. Your pole sitter, none other than Jacob Cochran, who pulled out the win left. Did he pull out the win? I might have made a mistake there. Jacob Cochran in that number 84 is going to be starting in the pole tonight. Cody Giles is going to be starting second in that number 5. Aaron Espy picked up a win earlier this season at Iowa, looking to claim number 2 on another short track, starting third tonight inside of row number 2. Evan Janik, your points leader, going to be starting 4th in that number 71 AmSoil car. Look for him to move up front early. Gavin Henson, this is a driver that is on the cusp of something great, maybe a victory in store for fans tonight here. Starting 5th, Gavin Henson. Derek Jewett already scored an upset win at Daytona and locked his way into the playoffs. He's going to be starting 6th in that number 45. Michael Wade, we've seen some strong performances out of him in his limited schedule this season, starting 7th in the 3. Adam Holson looking to get back to victory lane and regain that consistency we know him for earlier in the season, starting 8th. Brett Wren starting 9th in that number 24 Fall Creek machine, with Reggie Kime, one of the best starts for that number 9 machine, starting 10th tonight.
And Robert McKay will roll off from the 11th position, and David Moyer, one of those drivers we're going to have our eyes on for the points right there, is going to roll off from the 12th position tonight. Zach White's going to roll off 13th in that number 77 machine, and Christopher Benning in the Watermelon Ride is going to roll off from the 14th starting position. Joshua Gillen is going to start 15th in the number 10, and on his outside, another one of those bubble drivers we're going to have our eyes on all night, Alan Zukoff. Caleb Hunt is going to start from the 17th starting position, and Jared Knopfsnyder on his outside, with Beckett Brown rounding out the field in the number 97.
Getting ready to go green here, race number 25, and that car, that 97, looks like he is going to be starting tail end of the field. We'll keep an eye on that number 97 to Beckett Brown. We've seen him be fast when he's run with Mystic Racing League. Probably will be no different tonight. He's got his work cut out for him. The two drivers that have the best seat in the house right now is that 84 and the number 5. We've seen Giles and Cochran run side by side all season long. We're getting ready for another replay of that tonight, at least for the first lap, as these drivers get ready to come to the line to take the green flag. Lots at stake tonight. Short track action ahead. Pace car is going to pull off. Cochran is waiting to see that green flag in the hands of the flagman at the start-finish line. Several cars right on top of each other. It's going to be a wild first lap, folks. Hold on to your hats. Green flag is in the air. Cochran hits that throttle for the first time tonight. Side by side, Cochran and Giles headed down into turn 1. Giles pushes that number 84, who pushes right back on the left side of that number 5. They climb the banking as they exit turn number 2 down the backstretch.
Things get really close between the two leaders down the backstretch right there. They both recognize, oh, we got a crash in turn 3.
That crash came from, looked like Christopher Benning, but it was the 97 of Beckett Brown who might have caught the most heat from that lap number 1 crash. It's going to put us under caution for the first time tonight. Let's see if we can't figure out what happened to that Sharpie machine.
Yeah, the number 97 Sharpie machine right there. Yeah, it looks like he's charging right in pretty deep right there. This is turns 1 and 2, I believe, yes, and they're working their way down the backstretch here. 3 wide off of turn 2. Some contact with Caleb Hunt. Got that 78 machine sideways down into the 97, and then some contact from the 64 of Christopher Benning. Alan Zukoff escapes possible disaster right there. Not a whole lot of damage on these machines right here, so I don't know if we'll see any fast repairs taken this early on in the race.
We saw the fight for track space get a little bit ugly there, Chris. You mentioned that apron might be a line that some drivers try to run. Looked like the 97 might have caught Hunt by surprise. Both drivers suffer some damage, and they come down pit road to get it repaired. Everyone else looks to be fine from that. Hey, speaking of fine, everyone, hopefully you're having a fine time in the chat tonight. We got John Rapp, Wade Gaming. It's a home track for the number 3 tonight. Joshua Gillen in here, Derby back as well. Good to see them. Brianna Fondren in here as well, rooting on Joshua Gillen. If you're tuning in or watching the replay, make sure you hit that subscribe button and like the video. Doesn't cost you a thing at all, but helps us immensely here at Slingshot Racing Media. Right now, working the first caution of the evening up front. Right before that caution came out, I should say Cody Giles retains. Jacob Cochran, I should say, retains the lead in that number 84. Giles hangs on to second. SB third. Really, the top 6 unchanged. The only spot we saw swap on track was Adam Holston get by Michael Wade in about 3/4 of a lap that we ran there, Chris. If you're on top of the pit box right now for any of these drivers, it's now lap number 4. What are you telling these guys after 4 laps in? We got a caution, 200 laps tonight. What's the advice from the crew chief?
Yeah, I'm not sure there's much you can really say now after just 4 laps, compared to where you were at the beginning of this thing. Other than maybe, trying to ask the driver, telling the driver to think about what lane kind of moved a little bit better there on the start. We can see right here, it looks like they are taking the choose right here. And we saw Cody Giles go to the inside. Jacob Cochran wants control of that outside lane. No surprise there, Ellis. But yeah, that's probably the biggest thing I'm probably talking about with my driver is think about the lane that you choose right here. I'm not surprised at all to see the leader try to maintain control of that outside lane.
All right, now Cody Giles, Jacob Cochran, they're working on maintaining their position. Pace car is going to pull off. It's going to be on the number 84 of Cochran. He's elected to go to the outside. We'll see how that strategy pays off. Pace car is off. These cars get ready to roll down the front stretch now, looking to take the second green flag up tonight. Cochran hits that throttle. We're going again here at IRP. This time, not side by side like we saw in the start of the race. Cochran gets out, gets the whole shot. Giles settles back into second place. Meanwhile, behind them, the 16 of Aaron Espy's get clear out into third position. The battle right now is for fifth between Adam Holston and Gavin Henson. Holston's going to win that battle. It's going to send Henson back to the 6th place. Everyone single file as they take that first lap. Big caution on the front stretch. That was the number 88 and the 77. It's going to put us under caution. I should say, no, we don't have a caution. Race control lets them race. Those cars gather it back up, pull the gear, and we are still going here at IRP.
Yeah, and we might be able to go back and take a look at this one, Johnny. I have it pulled up right here. We can possibly go side by side. So, yeah, Robert McKay is in this black and green car, and he's going to make some contact with the outside retaining wall and bounce down the track down into Zach White. Both of those cars are going to go head-on into the inside retaining wall.
Tough night for those 2 cars. The good news, if you're a fan of either one, they've got a quick repair sitting for them in the garage. They can patch that thing up in an instant and get back out on the track and not know the difference. Right now, up front, the battle is on for the lead. It's Cody Giles and Jacob Cochran. It's Giles chasing Cochran in that Lucas Oil number 84. 2 different lines, Chris. It looks like that 5 might be entering into the corners just a little bit higher right now.
Yeah, you guys a couple of different approaches here at IRP, and we're going to see some drivers, do some things that might look really, really different than some other ones tonight. Might even see some drivers running on the apron, Ellis. This is a fun little track. It's a fun track to drive. One of the more enjoyable tracks for me to drive personally, but it's kind of the opposite of that as far as racing and trying to pass. It can be extremely frustrating to race other people here because you might feel like you're really faster, quite a bit faster than the guy in front of you. But you're unable to complete the pass just because you can't get the bite on exit. You can't get the run on exit that maybe that driver who's protecting the top can get.
Now both drivers trying to protect their spots as the number 16 of Aaron Espy kind of lurks in the background. You can see him further back in the shot. We had a couple battles going on track, but they've since settled out. Drivers looking like they're locking into their rhythm. The battle for the lead is the closest one we've got right now, and I'm noticing that number 5 glitching out just a little bit, maybe a little bit of internet connection issues. Something to keep an eye on. If you're Jacob Cochran, do you see that blinking in your rearview mirror and get a little bit nervous, or do you like what you're seeing?
I think that it just kind of gets you off your game a little bit if you do see that car blinking. We've seen the blinking from Cody Giles this season. I don't think we've ever had a connection drop from him during the race, so I think that we probably feel pretty confident maybe that won't happen. But yeah, it kind of just distracts you a little bit if you're Jacob Cochran out there. And if you're Cody Giles, it's probably not that much fun either.
Not much fun at all right now. Looking at a bit of a hornet's nest that had been forming. It since settled out just a little bit further back around the 15th position. Zach White, Robert McKay continuing to race each other. Robert McKay stayed on the lead lap, even though he had a little bit of trouble early on in this race. He dives to the high line there, maybe trying to work his way around the hard way on that number 77, who's working on Knopsnyder as they exit turn number 2.
Yeah, Jared Knopsnyder right in front of these guys right here. Zach White trying to get around him, and you're kind of seeing right here the struggles that the driver on the inside has. He might be able to roll the center pretty well, maybe better than that driver on the outside, but look at the run that Knopfsnyder gets on corner exit. I think he's going to... Oh, he got some contact from behind there, and he's going to save it.
Big save from Knopfsnyder as they work their way through turns number 1 and 2, doing battle with Robert McKay. McKay's going to get by, but aggressive racing early on, Chris. We talked about, really, that's something we expected to see at the bullring here at IRP. Just 0.6 of a mile. There's not much space and there's not much room to pass, and you saw a product of that tight racing groove just a moment ago. Those drivers get it settled out. Looking around the field, another big battle, Chris. The lead is settled out to about 0.3, but as soon as I say that, that number 5, Cody Giles, isn't going anywhere, especially as they reach lap traffic of Caleb Hunt.
And Caleb Hunt, I believe, has, I think he saved his fast repair, and maybe the damage is a little bit more significant on that 78 car than I thought before, because he's pretty far off the pace right now, going a lap down right here to the leaders. That's unfortunate, but man, with the stage breaks, Ellis, you know, if he doesn't fall another lap down, he might be able to recover here.
Hunt just hoping for a caution, but you did mention the stage break at lap 55. That is just about 37 laps from now. Those laps here at IRP will go by fast. We've already seen almost 20 laps elapse in the last 10 minutes or so after one caution on lap 2 of the race. They continue to catch lap traffic. This time they're working up towards Joshua Gillen. I know we got some Gillen fans in the chat. I know he's in the chat right now, along with Brianna Fondren, rooting him on. Ricky LaFleur back as well, saying, Wade Gaming, you need to retire. We got some beef in the chat. He's speaking of Michael Wade running that number 3, currently running in the 8th position. Big contact there. Cochran and the number 10 of Joshua Gillen exchange a little bit of sheet metal there. Cochran might have gotten into the wall coming to the front stretch. Looks like he gathers it back up, but that number 5 has not lifted off that back bumper. Just about a car length separates Cody Giles from the back of Jacob Cochran, your current leader of the race here on lap number 21. It's about a car length or so as they head down into turn number 3. Right now, what I'm observing is the 84 hasn't made really much of a mistake all night long, other than what we just saw, really a close call with the lap car. Where do you want to be? Do you want to be the car that's got to be the first car in line to clear the lap car? Does that make it any easier on the second place car, in line, getting by a lap car?
I would say that the lap down cars are probably going to be a little bit more courteous to, I wouldn't say courteous, they're probably going to fight a little bit harder to stay on the lead lap than they will to, let the next car, that is on the lead lap by. So, usually you'll see the second place driver, the third place driver, those drivers will close up on the leader a little bit in lap traffic. And that's just, because they have the benefit of being that second car on the scene and kind of get a chance to, some contact!
The 84 into the 82 of Knopfsnyder. That's your leader. We're going to remain under green flag conditions. It looks like big pileup almost occurring in turn 2. If you're the number 84, the crew chief's got to be concerned about that right front because that thing is crinkled in. And we saw some heavy contact to the number 82 at the hands of the 84. And I was just about to mention, Chris, they are entering into the Hornet's Nest. We've seen this battle going on between White, McKay, and Knopfsnyder for several laps, and it doesn't look like it's died down at all.
It sure hasn't. We continue to see that sort of that blinking out right there of the number 5. I've got this right here in the side-by-side, Johnny, if we want to go
in front of the leaders, the 77 and the 88, door-to-door contact on the front straightaway. In both of these cars, Chris, for the last several laps have been almost looking like they're running the wall. They've had trouble getting through these corners. I'm sorry to interrupt. I thought we were about to have a big moment.
Oh, you're all good right here. We're going to go back, see if we can find out what happened with Knopfsnyder and the 84 of Cochran. There's Knopfsnyder up ahead of the 84. Yeah, that's just difference of roll speed right there in corner entry. Gets that 82 sideways, some contact to the right front of the 84. Some significant damage to the 82 of Knopfsnyder there as Joshua Gillen just barely sneaks by.
Gillen, multiple close calls tonight. It's close up front. The lead continues to be the tightest battle on track. That number 84 you're looking at, piloted by Jacob Cochran, a handful of wins this season, including last week at Darlington. Cody Giles trying to chase him down in that number 5.
Yeah, he is. He's still working him over right here, and I just think that this is emphasizing just how difficult it is to complete the pass. I know I sound like a broken record, but it is just so very difficult. If Cody Giles could ever sneak to the right rear, if he could ever get to the right rear of that 84, maybe on corner entry, that could possibly be all that he needs. It's going to be hard to roll the bottom underneath him, Ellis, and get underneath him that way. I think that the roll speed, the center of the corner, is a little bit higher right now in that 5. But Jacob Cochran's not making any mistakes. He's nice and smooth out there. He's making it difficult for that number 5 machine.
One other battle happening on the track right now, Reggie Kime, David Moyer, Brett Wren, they're all on top of each other. That's really around the 9th position. Back here as they go into turn number 1, every car running at the top of the track. You got Beckett Brown back there, a lap down after an early incident on lap number 2. Wren looking like he gets the better of that battle. There goes Beckett Brown to the inside of that Mickey D's machine piloted by Reggie Kime. 2 different lines. You're seeing it. Oh, and boy, again,
contact.
Same story as lap number 2. Will we have a caution? We do have a caution number 2. Chris, and I hate to point out the consistency and the similarities between those crashes, but that 97 rolling the apron kind of caught maybe the number 9 by surprise.
Yeah, possibly right there. And yeah, we're going to go back and take a look at it right here off of turn number 4. Yeah, that's a very low line right there. You can get away with that. There can be some speed down there in that lane, but yeah, he washes up right here on corner exit. Yeah, and Reggie Kime holds his line right there. So yeah, I think that incident's probably going to be on the 97. I think the race controller will deem that right there, and yeah, that's an unfortunate break right there for Reggie Kime. It speaks to how difficult it is to kind of roll that bottom, Ellis, and to you kind of got to be in the throttle hard to be able to complete that pass, and I think that's what Beckett Brown was trying to do.
Currently, it's going to upset that top 15 run Kime had going in that number 9 machine. It's going to put us under caution for the second time tonight. The lead has not changed. It's Cochran and Giles Espy in 3rd position. Are you expecting to see anyone come down pit road here from the top 10 or so? Obviously, we got a couple guys who are involved or near that caution coming in, but I think maybe pit road is already open. It looks like we're not going to see anyone come in this time. So these guys are going to ride it out and wait till that stage caution comes out at lap number 55. Speaking of riding out, we've been riding out for a little while without hearing from our partners, which means it's time to hear from the premier partner of the Fall Creek Plumbing National Series, and that's Fall Creek. We'll be back right after the message from our partners. Stay tuned, folks. Don't go anywhere.
Whether it's a sudden leak or a project you've been meaning to tackle, Fall Creek Plumbing is here to help. Serving all of central Indiana, we're a small family-owned business based in Pendleton, built on honesty, quality, and care. From slab leaks and water heaters to full plumbing upgrades and everyday maintenance, our team brings experience and craftsmanship to every job, big or small. It's not just about fixing problems, it's about providing reliable, long-term solutions for your home. At Fall Creek Plumbing, we believe in showing up on time, treating your home with respect, and doing the job right the first time. Because peace of mind shouldn't be a luxury, it should be the standard. Fall Creek Plumbing, local, reliable, professional, and proud sponsor of Mystic Racing League.
Back here at IRP, you're looking at the number 47 to David Moyer under caution for the second time tonight. Big story kind of brewing here, Chris. During the break, we were noticing that Moyer's climbed up to 9th position. One of the biggest movers on the track tonight, gaining 3 positions, and that's no easy task here at IRP. Right in front of him is his biggest competitor in points, Brett Wren. Both of those drivers sitting on the bubble, and Alan Zukov not too far behind as these drivers take the choose rule in 13th position. So this is going to be a battle we are definitely keeping an eye on. They know who they're racing, and right now we're getting ready to go go racing again. Jacob Cochran chooses the outside line. We saw that really benefit driver number 84 on that last restart. It's going to be about a 19-lap shootout here to finish stage number 1. Pace car getting out of the way for the third restart tonight. I should say the second restart. It's going to be on Cochran. He's going to choose when to go here once he enters the restart zone. He's got Aaron Espy right behind him. Giles has the 71 of Janik. Waiting for that 84 to mash the throttle. He does it towards the end of the restart zone. Gets away cleanly. Janik gets a bumper for the number 45. That was a stack up on the inside line. Giles going after the number 84 for the lead, not wasting any time as they go down the backstretch.
Yeah, Cody Giles recognizes this as possibly his chance right here, but yeah, you can just see the momentum right there off of turn 2. That 84 of Jacob Cochran's going to clear him into turn 3 right here. Meanwhile, we're side by side for the 4th position back there. That is Evan Janik and Gavin Henson battling it out for P4.
Henson climbs the banking through turn 2. Janik down on the inside. They've been side by side for the last lap. The outside of Gavin Henson seems to have the advantage as they enter down into turn number 3 and 4. Looks like they've settled that out unless Janik can muster a little bit of energy on the exit of the corner. He holds off on that. They're single file back up front. Still single file for the lead. Really the biggest battle we've got on track. Look like it's going back on in the 14th position where Zach White and Christopher Benning are doing duel with the number 10 of Joshua Gillen.
Yeah, Joshua Gillen back there in the middle of this mess right here. We see Zach White right here. He is the first car 1 lap down, Ellis, so he's looking to maintain that position over Christopher Benning right here as we approach the end of stage 1.
Looks like one car into the inside wall. That's Gillen in the number 10. Race control's going to leave the green out. Gillen gets it going again, not without a crushed in front panel on that number 10. I know the Gillen fans shaking their fist in the air right now, but we're still under green. There's a big battle going on back in the 12th position between the 88 of Robert McKay and Alan Zukoff. They've settled it out for now. And boy, Chris, I don't know where to look on the track because there is action going on everywhere.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on right here. But, you know, we do have the incident right here with Joshua Gillen and Robert McKay. So we'll see if we can go and take a look at that here. Here we are off of turn 4 right here. That's Joshua Gillen up on the top side right there. Some contact from the number 88 of Robert McKay is going to send that number 10 machine into the inside wall, as we've seen so many others do tonight.
Big battle for the lead continues to heat up. Out in front, it's Cochran, but you can stick a sheet of paper between that back bumper of his and the front bumper, the number 5 of Cody Giles. Aaron Espy watching that battle from 3rd position. Almost identical lines, mirroring each other. Looks like the number 5 is able to cut down on the exit of turn 2 just a little bit faster than that number 84, Chris. Is there an advantage to that?
Yeah, there definitely is, and that's just showing like good, you know, front grip in that car. That's showing good front turn. And in a short track like IRP, a technical track like this one, that's definitely what you want. As back behind these guys, Aaron Espy has a lot of pressure from Adam Holston, who's going to complete the pass. Holston is on fresh tires.
Holston is moving through the field. He elected to come get tires early, and drivers may be learning a lesson from what they are seeing out of that number 8 machine. Holston with a head of steam to the back bumper of the number 5, Chris. He has picked up at least 6 or 7 spots over the last 5 laps, and that number 8 machine is running the fastest laps on the track the last 4 laps. He's looking for second now as he looks to the inside of Cody Giles.
Yeah, Ellis, I was curious tonight how much tires would actually mean. You know, a short track like this one, you'd assume that they would pay off. I didn't know if the traffic would be too much to overcome. But right now we're seeing right here in this number 8 machine, it doesn't look like it is. He's going for the lead.
Cochran got a little bit of the wall between turns 1 and 2. He's going to pay the price. It almost felt inevitable, but the number 8 of Holston's going to take the lead just a little bit early. There's only 10 laps, coming to 9 laps left in the stage, Chris. Holston looking to pick up some playoff points by winning this stage, setting himself up for maybe a deep run in the playoffs, picking up where he left off earlier in the season with consistent, strong finishes and a win at Las Vegas.
And right now we got a battle going on for second right here. Cody Giles inside of that number 84 of Jacob Cochran. He's going to complete the pass, and he's going to clear him right here off of turn 4. That would have been the race for the lead if Holston did not get his tires right there. So it's taking Cody Giles 48 laps here, but he finally got the pass done.
We've watched Cody Giles, Chris, run a lot of races here in Mystic Racing League, and one of the things we've noticed about the driver, that number 5, we've talked about it almost every win he's picked up. This guy can hold on to tires like no one's business. Obviously, he has nothing for Adam Holston on those fresh tires, but are we seeing the dividends for a driver who can really manage the right front and the right rear tires?
Yeah, absolutely. Cody Giles, I think, is one of the best drivers in this field at long run pace, long run speed, holding on to those tires, keeping the grip in that machine. And he's able to maintain speed, Ellis. He can be pretty fast on the short run also and still be able to, continue passing cars on the long run. That's very difficult to do.
Speaking of long runs, we don't have one. We've got about 5 laps left in stage 1, and back in 9th position, Brett Wren, David Moyer, Reggie Kime, and the 77 of Zach White. These guys are all over each other right now. Throw Christopher Benning a lap down into that mix, and this is quite the hornet's nest we have going. This is a battle for really the last playoff spot between Brett Wren and David Moyer. Only 14 points separated these two drivers, and right now, they find themselves together on track as well. If you're David Moyer, what are you thinking here?
I'm thinking that I got to get around the 24 right in front of me. Just for position more than anything else. You got to take everything that you can, Ellis. Any advantage that you might possibly be able to gain, you got to go for it. Even though there's no stage points on the line where they're running right now, top 5 only get stage points. You still got to go for it in every chance that you have. And I wouldn't be a bit surprised to see David Moyer maybe take a lunge at that number 24 machine here.
Chances in stage 1 are running out. They're trying to work their way by the number 3 of Michael Way, who's fallen back. Maybe tires starting to get the best of that number 3. Wren looking to make work of the number 3 on the inside. That Fall Creek machine slides by. Will Wade have anything for him on the outside? You can see the run he gets there.
Yeah, you can right there. And here comes Wren on the inside right there, trying to keep that roll speed up. Look at Brett Wren right there, 91 beats per minute. Oh, the 64 sideways.
White, big trouble on the front straightaway. Kime narrowly avoids it. This is going to put us under yellow. This likely will be our stage break here. Coming at the hands of a caution with Zach White and Christopher Benning. We're going to try to get back to the scene of the crime and see if we can't put us under caution, or see what put us under caution for the 3rd time tonight.
Yeah, there's the number. I think that, so there's Christopher Benning right ahead of the 77 of Zach White right there. And the 2 are going to make, I think that's going to be a tough one right there for the race controller to call. I think that's just 2 drivers kind of going for the same piece of real estate right there, short track racing. Unfortunately for Zach White, I think he's going to get the worst of it with that contact to the outside retaining wall. And that's going to be some significant time getting some repairs right there for Zach White.
And looking at Zach White, Chris, I am guessing he has not taken his quick repair yet based on the time he spent in the pits. Maybe looking like he got a little bit of damage fixed earlier based on my numbers. Again, nothing certain or exact about that math, but watching Zach White roll around on the track right now, he's going to be back to the 15th position after that lap number 54 crash, and we are getting word that is going to be our stage caution, which means Adam Holston, Cody Giles, Jacob Cochran, Aaron Espy, and Gavin Henson. Those are going to be your top 5 to be awarded points here for the conclusion of stage 1. Getting ready to see drivers come down pit road. My question was, would Adam Holston go ahead and pit with the leaders? And the answer to that question has been answered. It's an emphatic yes, as the 8 who climbed 7 positions on that restart before the end of this stage is going to lead him down pit road.
Yeah, great job by Holston. Great call right there to not only get the stage points, but also, Ellis, I think more importantly than even getting the points, getting the stage win, getting the track position. If you can put yourself up here near the front and you can maintain that track position, it's going to be difficult, but that's definitely a coup, I think, for that number 8 machine.
That number 8 machine is going to win the race off of pit road, no problem. It's going to be Giles, Espy, Henson, Janet, Chris. One car maybe struggled. Jacob Cochran, who was your leader, continues to sit on pit road in the number 1 pit stall, still being clocked on the pit stop clock. Not sure what's happening on board that number 84. We saw him have some internet connection issues earlier. You know what I bet he's doing, Chris? Remember that incident he had earlier in the race with Joshua Gillen? Maybe a little bit of damage on on that left rear, or sorry, right front that was getting repaired by the number 84. Paying the price for it now, but I think he'll reap dividends later on in this race.
Yeah, I think that you're probably right there. That looks like that's possibly what he was doing in that number 84. And now is the time to do it, Ellis. You want to do it now, get it taken care of now, save your fast repair, and try to carve your way up through the field right here on this at the beginning of stage 2 on this restart.
Well, speaking of carving their way through the field, you're watching Alan Zukov make his way down the access road to pit lane. I thought we were about to see a big swing from that number 91, who's one of those bubble drivers. Thought he was maybe going to try to pull an Adam Holson, stay out, and then come down pit road later at a caution to get some fresh tires. But he is going to come to the attention of his pit crew. Drivers taking the choose rule right now. Holston elects the inside. So interesting call. We've seen the leader take the outside in the last 2 restarts, and interesting call here. We're going to get another lap under caution. Race control has extended the lap, so we got about a lap and a half here to work with. Stage 2 getting ready to start. We're going to go to 110 laps, okay, and then drivers will have about 100 lap shootout at the end. Chris, we were talking about, we didn't think we would see drivers come down pit road under green flag conditions or before the end of a stage, but I think Adam Holston might have taught the field a bit of a lesson there that some of these drivers are going to be paying close attention to. And he's going to be the leader on this restart. So we're back to a clean slate now. I'm really curious to see what that 8 has on sheer speed, apples to apples, against Giles, Janik, and Aaron Espy back in that 4th position. I think we're going to have a good show here. Looks like we've got pretty equally matched cars across the top 4, 5, or 6.
Yeah, I think so. And I'm going to be very curious about this restart, Ellis. We've seen the leaders taking the outside lane, trying to maintain control right there. And I think the outside lane has definitely been the sort of the control lane on restarts. I wonder if the 8 of Holston can maintain it right here on the bottom lane.
That 8 is your restart leader. Once he enters the restart zone, it's on him to mash that throttle and get us going again. He does it halfway through, gets away cleanly, gets the jump on Cody Giles. Now Giles has to play defense against the 71 of Janik. Behind him, it's a battle between Aaron Espy and Derek Jewett, who's loose along with Brett Wren. Collision, Wren hard into the wall. That is a playoff bubble driver experiencing calamity here on lap number 61. That went south quickly, and it almost looked like synchronized swimming there between the number 24 and the number 45 of Derek Jewett there as they got sideways almost at identical times.
Yeah, both those drivers on cold tires, both of them getting sideways. And yeah, Ellis, it was kind of a synchronized motion right there. That 45, the black and yellow machine up ahead getting sideways, and the number 24, the Fall Creek Plumbing machine, also getting sideways down into Robert McKay, back into the outside retaining wall. One car right there getting some significant damage on the hood of that machine. I can't see who that is as they went by right there. We'll try to get a number right there on that car right there. But yeah, significant damage to Brett Wren. He will have to take his fast repair here, Ellis.
Tough break for that number 24 on that restart. Cold tires, he comes, and I believe he did take his quick repair. Barely gets out in front of the pace car. That's something that you don't have to worry about at every track coming down pit road. But with the pace car rolling around at 50 miles an hour, it is it's tough to beat it out on just a single lap. So Brett Wren avoids, even more disaster there as we look back to see what exactly happened on this restart.
Yeah, you see that? So Johnny's got our focus right here on the 45 machine of Derek Jewett. Yeah, you see Derek getting sideways right here. Got that thing clean sideways. And yeah, David Moyer does a great job of avoiding. There's the 24 right there. He got sideways as well. Synchronized motion. Yeah, Michael Wade was the driver. I couldn't see who it was that had their hood up right there. But unfortunately for Michael Wade, some significant damage to that number 3, that Earnhardt Legacy machine. He has taken his fast repair, though, Ellis, and he is back on the track still on the lead lap.
Now, the question is, who's working on that car? Is the Goodwrench boys or the AC Delco guys doing the damage repair to that number 3? Either way, that car has got to get some repairs made to it, as does Brett Wren. Big story developing right now. Wren going to lose several points here to David Moyer. Right now, there's a 6-spot swing here for David in the benefit of David Moyer. Both of these drivers racing each other on the bubble for a final spot into the playoffs. I thought, were they taking the choose rule there? No, I thought they were taking the choose rule for a second. I thought the first 4 drivers took the outside, and Gavin Henson might have been lining up on the inside of the front row, but we've got at least another lap until that happens. Didn't really get a chance to see what that number 8 has on an apples-to-apples comparison on tires. Reminder, we saw him super fast on a fresh set of tires about 30 laps in to that 55-lap stage number 1. We saw him climb his way through the field very quickly. This is going to be the first time we see him up front. Chris, does being up front in clean air make a difference at a short track like here at IRP?
Yeah, Ellis, I always want clean air. You know, short track is not as big of an advantage maybe as it is at a track like a 1.5 mile, a downforce track, but it certainly is, you know, to your benefit to be in clean air. The car drives best in clean air no matter what track you're at, short track, super speedway, road course. Yeah, it's going to drive better up front. And also, you know, with this being, you know, as tight as it is in these corners here, Ellis, it's just a little bit cleaner out there. You know, you don't have the same risk that these drivers who are in traffic have. So I definitely want to be out front if I can be.
Speaking out front, Holston is going to be the leader on the restart, mixing up the strategy, goes to the outside. Might not have liked what he felt last time, even though he got away from Giles cleanly. He'll try it on the outside this time. They make their way out of turn number 4. They see the green flag in the hands of the flagman. Then number 8 of Holston hits the throttle. He gets away on the outside, but Giles to the inside now. Can he wrap that inside? Holston into the wall. A little bit of contact to that right side. Big contact for Gavin Henson. One other car in the wall. That was looking
Derek
at
Jewett.
That's Derek Jewett in the 45. Are they going to gather it up? We're going to be under caution potentially for the 4th time tonight. And there it is, Chris. Cautions breed cautions. Drivers looking to gain as many positions on these restarts. We talked about in pre-race, maximizing your restarts, and their restart maximization maybe gone awry.
Yeah, this happened actually in front of Gavin Henson. We're going to go back and see if we can see what happened. I think that it was actually I think it was around the number 88 of Robert McKay. I think that McKay is going to maybe slid up the track right there into the left front of the 39 of Gavin Henson. Henson tags the wall. Derek Jewett right here. It just gets kind of tight right there off of turn 2. They were about 3 wide right there, and the two of them make some contact and kind of get stuck together here all the way down the back stretch right here, and Alan Zukov, one of those bubble drivers, fighting and clawing, trying to get his way into those playoffs right there. Don't think the damage is significant on the 91 machine. I think he's going to be okay maybe, and going to maybe sneak by right here without getting too significant damage.
Couple drivers going to need a new oil filter. Maybe it's an AMSOIL oil filter they're going to have replaced in those cars. Speaking of AMSOIL, we're going to take a quick break to hear from one of the presenting partners for the Fall Creek Plumbing National Series, AMSOIL. We'll be back just 30 seconds. Don't go anywhere, folks. Looking live in at IRP, lap number 70 of 200, the penultimate regular season race for the Fall Creek Plumbing Series. I'm Ellis Thomas, joined by Chris Smith and Johnny Rapp in the Slingshot Racing Media booth. Thanks, folks, for joining and tuning in tonight. We're glad to have you, whether you've been watching for a long time or maybe this is your first time tuning in. Let's keep that chat active. Let us know who you think is going to win tonight. How many cautions do you think we're going to have? Right now, we're up to 4. I suspect we're not done tonight. Let us know in the chat. And if you haven't hit that subscribe and like button, doesn't cost you a dime, folks, but it helps us out immensely. And Chris, want to shout out, we've reached 1,000 subscribers on YouTube.
All right.
That wouldn't be possible without about everyone tuning in and hitting that subscribe button. So thank you for the fans for making that possible. Right now, these drivers looking to hit the choose button and figure out where they're going to be starting on this restart on lap number 73.
Looks like we're going one
maybe
more
not.
lap, Ellis.
One more lap. They added a lap. They keep on trying to fake me out. These guys are trying to make us look bad, Chris, but we're not going to let them because the sun's going down. It's about to get wild here at IRP, and that's been something I've been thinking about. Maybe the fans at home have noticed as well. That sun has been setting in the distance over the last 20, 30 laps or so. Is this track going to undergo any changes, and how could that potentially impact some of these drivers?
Yeah, it's probably going to get a little bit faster, Ellis. The track's probably going to get a little bit more grip in it as the night continues to go on. So yeah, I'm gonna anticipate those lap times, those lap speeds are going to increase, and maybe a little bit more confidence in some of those drivers, Ellis. They might start feeling a little bit more confident as we go on right here, as these drivers are taking the choose.
It ain't liquid courage. Hopefully none of these drivers are drinking any liquid courage tonight, but that increase in track speed and grip could make this even more interesting than it already has been. Adam Holson, Cody Giles, and I believe Adam Holson was the leader at that last caution. He's going to elect to go to the out. Oh, was it Giles? Yeah, Giles had just gotten by.
Yeah, big significant development right there. Cody Giles took control of this race, and with control, he has lane choice as the leader here.
He's got the control over the restart as well. Cody Giles waiting for that restart zone, maybe trying to snooker the field and get a jump on everybody. He goes late. He does get the jump. Holston struggles a little bit to get grip in those right rear tires. The 71 of Evan Janik going to take advantage. Now the second restart in a row that Holston has struggled on the outside. Can they make it through the first lap? This has been the danger zone over the last several restarts. A couple cars squirrely. One car going down pit road as well. Everyone looks to have it gathered up. We're going to stay under green flag conditions tonight. Big battle going on right now for the 10th position between Gavin Henson and David Moyer in that number 47, who I can't really see on the track right now, Chris.
Yeah, with all that camo on that number 47, it's kind of hard to see him out there, but yeah, Moyer right here is fighting really hard for all the track position he can get. One of those cars that went down pit road, I'm not sure if he got knocked down pit road or had to take evasive action, but that was Brett Wren, Ellis, and that is a significant championship development.
Big championship development. Brett Wren, 14. Oh, big caution. Big trouble almost between, I believe that was the 88 of Robert McKay and the number 84 of Jacob Cochran. Almost gave me and the fans in the stands a heart attack there. Car's almost sideways.
Oh, he's
McKay
around.
off the wall. Can he gather it back up? Will race control allow him to get that thing turned around? He's going to look like he tows it off the track to the pit road. We're still under green while all the chaos has been unfolding. Cody Giles has pulled about a 10-car length lead over now second place Evan Janik. Second place on the restart, Holston slid back to fourth position.
Yeah, Adam Holston slid back a little bit here on the restart. Aaron Espy putting a lot of pressure right here on Evan Janik. Janik right here, yeah, with that pressure on the rear bumper right here, I wonder if Janik maybe is pacing himself a little bit, recognizing that Giles is pretty far out there with everything that went on the restart right there, and maybe is wanting to sort of maybe pace himself maybe for the long run right here, maybe looking to catch up Janik here in about 30 laps if he can. I'm sorry, catch up to Giles here in 30 laps if he can.
We've seen that number 71 really have a bout of bad luck in the past month or more, Chris. This is the first time it feels like maybe the 71 is getting back into his old form, points leading form. He retains that point lead, but it hasn't been easy for the number 71 as we get ready to enter into the playoffs. Trying to hold off number 16 of Aaron Espy, winner at Iowa, finished in the top three, I believe, last week or the week before. I'd have to look at my stats, but Espy not going anywhere. Holston trying to hold off Jacob Cochran of the 84 in a battle for the fourth position right behind those guys.
Yeah, right there, Holston under pressure right here from Jacob Cochran. Cochran getting that damage fixed on pit road, and he's making a nice little move up through the field right here, Ellis. And he's got that middle lane working right here. Holston up really high, about as high as we've seen anybody all night long tonight. And I think that he's going to have enough roll speed, I'm talking about Cochran that is, to complete the pass on Holston. So put Cochran up to the fourth spot.
Now, Chris, we see that 8 running high, nearly touching the wall through both corners. At a typical 1.5 mile long track, we would look at that strategy and say, might be fast in the short run, but it's going to eat those tires up over the long run. It's a longer way around the track. It's a little bit faster, but it comes at the expense of the rubber. Is that a concern for Adam Holston in that number 8 car who's been running the high line for the last several laps?
Yeah, Ellis, I'm not the very best at running the top lane, so, I'm maybe not the best person to ask about this. I definitely prefer to be on the bottom, but I still think the same principle applies short track to intermediate track. I still think that you're having to use more throttle to be fast up there. Your center of the corner speed, like you're getting back in the throttle a lot quicker on the top lane than you are on the bottom, so I think that on the bottom, or not necessarily the bottom, but if you run lower, I think you can go just as fast by using less throttle. And I think that's where some of the drivers are thinking about right here. Adam Holston, I think this is a really good line to possibly be able to hold somebody off and make it really difficult for them. But, he's still got some good speed in that 8 machine as he gets loose right here off of turn 4.
Holston a little bit loose off of turn 4. The battle for third continues to remain between Aaron Espy and Jacob Cochran. Cochran really drawing to the back bumper. He looks to the inside down into turn 3. No contest unless Aaron Espy looks to force the issue on the outside off the corner. He thinks better of it. Just 84 laps in, now 85. The race continues, looking to get to lap 110 to conclude stage number 2 and enter into the final phase of the race. The pay window, as short track drivers call it. Tonight, the sun is going down. Drivers trying to lock in for one final part of stage number 2. Cody Giles continues to be your leader. Janik second. Jacob Cochran sitting in 3rd position. Aaron Espy 4th. Adam Holston sitting in the 5th position after restarting back in 2nd. Has lost some time over the last several laps. Michael Wade, Chris, we haven't talked about Michael Wade in that number 8 machine. Or 3 machine, sitting in 6th position. He's kind of been up and down all night. Started in the 7th position, fell below 10th position. Now he's got that number 3 machine looking pretty good, solidly locked into the top 10, trying to chase down that number 8. And that's quite the battle. The number 8 and the number 3 we might see brewing here. Maybe a little deja vu back to the year 2000.
Yeah, and you saw some contact right there from the 3 into the outside retaining wall right there. Yeah, Michael Wade was the driver saw earlier in that crash with Brett Wren where his hood was flying up in his face right there. He's gotten all that damage fixed with his fast repair, and he's back up here in the mix right here. Meanwhile, going back up here to 2nd right here, Jacob Cochran has cleared the lap car of Brett Wren and is putting all kinds of pressure right here on Evan Janik. Janik's going to have his hands full, I think, trying to hold off that 84 machine.
Cody Giles looking like he's got a little bit more speed in that number 84 as the laps click away in stage 2. Just 20 laps left. Janik almost grazes the wall through turns 1 and 2. Cochran running a little bit lower there. And Jacob Cochran, Chris, he has just had a magnificent season. 15 races he's run, hasn't run the full season. And I believe, I'd have to look at my point standings again, I don't think he's running for the championship in the playoffs, just with it not with enough starts, but averaging an 8th place finish. And over the course of 15 races, that is no easy feat. 9 top 5s. That car, that driver is just determined every single race. And you see that tenacity really coming out here on lap number 91. Charging those corners hard, yet still hanging on to those tires in the late goings of stage number 2.
Yeah, he is. We saw him under a lot of pressure from Cody Giles earlier, and he eventually did get passed by him and Adam Holston, but I think that he's proved his speed right here on this run. He's been on equal tires to everybody here, and he's marched up through them all, with the exception right here so far of the 71 and the 5 up ahead of him. But meanwhile, we got side by side right here. That is the number 3 right there. Yeah, that's Michael Wade looking to put a lap right here on the 24 machine of Brett Wren. But yeah, excellent drive so far by Jacob Cochran, who, as you said, Ellis, has had so much speed this season.
Excellent drive for Gavin Henson as well, back in the 7th position. Henson looking to get back to the back bumper, that number 3 of Michael Wade. He's got to get by the lap car of Brett Wren first. Almost a little contact there between the left front and the right rear of the number 39 of Gavin Henson. Henson running a much different line than Michael Wade through turns 1 and 2. Let's see what he does here through turns 3 and 4. He does enter a little bit lower, slides up the track just a little bit, but you see the 3 be able to get get down and turn that wheel left and lock in just a little bit quicker, although Henson does pick up a little bit of time there.
Yeah, and Henson has gotten his damage fixed on his number 39 sun drop machine, making me want a sun drop right here. And he's, yeah, that car looks like it's got some, fair bit of speed in it right now as well. And Gavin Henson, somebody that wouldn't sleep on right here, as the playoffs approach right here. That could be a good, sleeper pick possibly.
Battle for second position heats up. Cochran and Janik contact almost as they make their way down the backstretch into turn 3. The 71 on the outside, that's Evan Janik. Points leader Evan Janik. Jacob Cochran on the inside, that 84 is going to slide by cleanly. We had seen that battle kind of brewing over the past 5 or 6 laps, and it culminates there in a pass for second by Jacob Cochran. Now sets his sights on Cody Giles, but that is at least 15, 20, 30 car lengths maybe up the track. Cody Giles with a 4.5 second lead on second place right now. Just about 13 laps left in stage number 2. Giles working his way through lap traffic, continues to struggle with a bit of a connection issue there. He just got by Zach White in the 77, and I believe that was Joshua Gillen in the number 10, working his way through lap traffic. Again, tonight, that has been no easy feat. You come up on these cars quickly at this 0.6 mile bull ring right outside of the city of Indianapolis.
Yeah, it's almost a 4.5 second lead from Cody Giles. That's pretty significant on a short track. That's a pretty significant lead on a track like this. This is this is bordering on almost domination right here from the number 5. A tremendous amount of speed in that machine. Just looking at the laps as they go by right here, pretty clearly the fastest car on the track.
Fastest car on the track, Cody Giles in that number 5. Everyone else chasing him down. Final 10 laps of stage number 2 coming up here. Top 5 has remained unchanged for the past several laps. Aaron Hesby is in 4th position. Adam Holston in 5th. Right now, drivers feeling like they've just kind of locked in, hunkered down for the final stages. Everyone looking like they're okay. They're settled into their positions. I don't really see any major races on the track right now. Reggie Kime, as we watch that number 9 roll around the track now, the 16 of Aaron Espy. There's a 9 again. Sorry, Johnny, making you work hard for that one. But Kime, 10th position. We've seen Kime continue to get progressively better as the season has run on, Chris. Watching that number 9 makes me a little bit hungry for some Mackie D, some McDonald's. What's the best menu item on that McDonald's dollar menu? Have you eaten McDonald's lately?
Ellis, I don't think I've had McDonald's in years, so I'm probably not the person to ask.
It's been a minute. Do you like the Big Mac? You like the Big Mac sauce?
I think so. Like I said, it's been probably about 10 years since I went to a McDonald's. So,
oh my gosh.
Yeah. So, Big Mac is probably, what I'd go. So that's the classic, right?
That is the classic. Connor Lyons joining the chat tonight. Welcome back, Connor. He's asking what happened to Joshua. Josh had some trouble early on in the race with the crash early, Connor. He's talking about Watkins Glen Xfinity. Race was wild. Michael McDowell, super hard hit. Connor Zilic, broken collarbone. Yeah, that was a wild moment in Victory Lane. Connor Zilic breaking his collarbone, falling from the car. Obviously, virtual race tonight. No one has to worry about that. At least if they're not climbing out of their cockpit, that could go awry pretty quickly, but I think everyone will be safe and sound tonight. Right now, just about 5 laps left. Cody Giles running away from the field, but I will say this, Chris. Jacob Cochran is closing that distance. That number 84 has really picked up on the long run speed, and we've seen that over the last couple of runs here. That number 84 picked up about a second in the last 6 or 7 laps. So keep an eye on that long run speed out of the 84.
Yeah, the 84, about a second, half a second to a second right here has been eaten out of the lead of Cody Giles. I'm not sure how much of that is Giles being in lap traffic, but, to be fair, Jacob Cochran is also in his share of lap traffic right here as he is going to work around the number 10 machine of Joshua Gillen. I think that this run right here is very impressive out of Jacob Cochran. I think maybe he learned some things about long run pace in that first run. I think Cody Giles had a little bit of long run pace on that number 84 machine, and Cochran maybe went to school a little bit and has adjusted his driving style right here, and they're very close now.
Speaking of school, Chris, I don't know if you were ever in wrestling, but right now we got a bit of a wrestling match going on down the backstretch between the number 8 of Holston and the number 39 of Gavin Henson. They climb the banking towards the number 77 of Zach White. Henson retains that position, but Holston is trying to work him over right now, continues to lose a little bit of time there. Henson is one of those drivers who is locked into the playoffs and points, Chris. We talk about it every single week, but I feel like this 39 is so close to a win. Just we're going to see it, and I think we're seeing him hit his stride at the perfect time. 10th place average finish over the course of 19 races this season. 11 top 10s. He currently sits in 5th position. Coming here to the checkered flag for stage number 1. Keep an eye on that 39. Cody Giles working his way around the track right now. First place crosses the line. We'll wait to see Gavin Henson. He'll be the last car to cross the line before we see that yellow flag to end stage number 2. There it is. Coming out, race control throws it. And boy, we are over halfway through this race. It's been a blistering pace despite a handful of cautions. And Cody Giles running a blistering pace right now. He's going to win that stage. Jacob Cochran's going to pick up some points for a 2nd place stage finish. Janet going to pick up some for 3rd. Aaron Espy and Gavin Henson take those last points for 4th and 5th here in stage number 2. And I think we're getting ready to see some pit stops that could play a pretty major role in how this restart goes and maybe the final portion of the race.
And we saw, you can see Jacob Cochran. He is flying to try to get close to the rear bumper of Cody Giles. He couldn't quite get there, but he made up a ton of ground right there as they were catching the pace car. He was doing everything he can to get as close to the number 5 machine as he could.
Yeah, and that was in part due to the lap cars that were kind of between the number 5 and the 84. So he did make up a good bit of ground, and it's about equal distance between the 5, the 84, and the 71 of Janik. They all slide into their pit stops. Coming to the attention of the crew, those right side jacks are going to go up here. Everyone pretty much hitting pit lane, all cars on the lead lap at least. We're going to follow that race off of pit road. Remember, Cochran came down, or Giles came down first. He's going to exit first. There goes Cochran. Janik's going to come out in 3rd. Aaron Espy's going to come out in 4th. Henson's going to come out in 5th, Chris. Top 5 remains unchanged. Every view you're seeing, including the race off of pit road, not possible without 2 things. First of all, producer Johnny Rapp, which just... this guy's going to be nominated for an Emmy at some point, I have no doubt. But he does it all with Whiplash Sim Cams. Every angle you're seeing tonight comes from our partners at Whiplash Sim Cams. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to hear from them, and we'll be back in 30 seconds, folks. Do not go anywhere. Final stage of race number 25 for Fall Creek Plumbing Series coming up for Mystic Racing League. Back here live, getting ready to take the green flag in stage number 3, the final stage of the O'Reilly Auto Parts 200 from IRP. I'm Ellis Thomas, joined by Chris Smith and Johnny Rapp in the Slingshot Racing Media booth. Thanks for tuning in, folks, tonight. Whether you're new, whether you've been a long-time viewer of Slingshot Racing Media, we hope you're enjoying the racing you are seeing tonight. Right now, getting ready, I believe, to take the 1 to go. Cars that are on the tail end of the lead lap, they're going to get their lap back here, and we're going to wait to see who takes what lane here on the choose. And looks like Giles signaling he's going to look to the inside. Jacob Cochran going to be on the outside. We've seen that outside line be able to hang with the inside a couple restarts, Chris. I really haven't been able to figure out a pattern. It just seems to be what driver starts in what line.
Yeah, I kind of question Olsen giving up the the outside lane to restart on the inside, but we saw when he took the outside on the next one, he lost the lead. So yeah, I think it's all about driver preference. I think that Giles probably has a lot of speed. I saw Gavin Henson give up the 5th spot to go to the top lane right there, so he feels a little bit better about being on the top lane. So it's all about driver preference here at IRP.
Right now, I think the driver preference is to be in first position. That belongs to Cody Giles. He's going to be in charge of the restart. He sees that green flag, mashes the throttle. We're back underway, and boy, if there's a hole shot, that was it. The battle's on for second between Janik and Jacob Cochran, racing down into turns 1 and 2. They go down the backstretch now. Looks like Janik's going to win that battle on the inside, and suddenly Cochran's not just looking at losing one spot. Now he's looking at another spot being lost to Adam Holston, who's loose, almost slides in the front bumper of Aaron Espy. Both of those drivers gather it back up, and now Holston falls back into the clutches of Gavin Henson in the number 39, who's been rolling that outside. Boy, Cody Giles got to be loving what he's seeing in the mirror right now, because these drivers are racing hard and fast as they go down through turns 3 and 4 now, getting ready to come to lap 119, Chris.
Yeah, Nellis, we had a pretty significant development right there on that caution. David Moyer actually disconnected. I went back and tried to look right there, and he did make a trip down pit road, and he never left pit road before he disconnected. So that's a pretty significant development in our championship battle.
This very well, if it pans out right now, Brett Wren running in the 11th position. Whoa, one car sideways. That's number 3 of Michael Wade. He's going to gather it back up.
Oh, we got another car.
Flagman, the number 82 of Knopsnyder sideways. Flagman waiting to see if that 82 can get it gathered back up. He does do a burnout on the front straightaway. He gets it going the right direction. We still are under green flag conditions. And yeah, what I was saying is, this could very well lock the number 24 of Brett Wren into the playoffs if all pans out as it is now. That 14-point distance between Wren and Moyer might grow insurmountable for David Moyer if tonight things finish like they are running right now. Cody Giles still retains the lead. Janik, Chris, I'm just looking over the last couple of laps. Janik continues to lose a little bit of time. It's pretty clear that that number 5, at least on the short run, Giles seems to have the best car on the track right now. But the sun's going down. That could change.
Yeah, it could. We're going to see a little bit more of a shift in the track right here. The track has significantly cooled down already, but yeah, the sun is not completely down right here. We'll probably see it cool down a little bit more. Johnny, we have a little side-by-side right here. We might be able to take a look right here at what happened to the number 3 machine of Michael Wade and Jared Knopsnyder. There is Michael Wade. He gets that left front down on the apron. See some drivers try to get down there, and on these cold tires, it's pretty free. And there goes Knopsnyder around right there. I don't think anybody was around him. I think he was reacting to the number 3 machine being sideways in front of him.
Got a battle brewing right now between Brett Wren. I should say on track is between Brett Wren and Caleb Hunt. It is a lap difference between those cars right now. Looks like it's a battle going on, yeah, between the number 71, the 84. Battle for second position. Janik trying to work his way by the number 84 on the inside. Not going to work that time by.
Yeah, I think Janik actually pulled over and let him go. At least that's what it looked like to me. Yeah, I think he pulled to the inside down the straightaway and gave Jacob Cochran the sort of the preferred lane right there and let him go. And yeah, put that number 84 machine up to second.
Maybe Janik thinking about the long-term implications here. Maybe just looking to settle in, save some tires, and have something for these guys in the long run right now. Cochran in second. Janik slides back to third. Aaron Espy's kind of been lurking there, Chris, back in fourth position for quite a while. That is a driver that we've also really seen come on as the season has gone along. He's had a stretch of top 5 finishes over the past several weeks. That driver, that number 4, including a win at Iowa just about a month ago. And he's going to be one to watch as this season continues. I think we're not done seeing that number 16 pick up some wins. Not eligible for the playoffs in terms of a championship run, but I think that 16 is going to have something to say in those remaining 7 races once the playoffs begin.
Yeah, he's been, Adam Holston gets really free right there off of turn 4. Yeah, he's been very consistent, Aaron Espy has. Very consistent here all night tonight. Some really good speed out of that number 16 machine. So, yeah, great performance out of Espy tonight right here. And these guys are putting on one heck of a show right here in the 5th, 6th, and 7th positions, Ellis.
Battle between Holston, Henson, and Jewett. Two of these drivers have a win. Henson does not have one. Jewett, Holston locked in the playoffs on wins. The number 39 of Henson locked in on points right now. It's all about bragging rights out here. Also, several of these drivers, I believe, Holston and Henson have earned stage points tonight, setting them up for a playoff run. Number 45 trying to claw his way back into the top 5. That's Derek Jewett. And Chris, we talked last week. We haven't really seen a mistake from the number 45 besides earlier in the race. He's been pretty clean since then. No issues. Seems locked in, the driver, the number 45. We saw him get sideways on that one restart, but we talked about the new and improved Derek Jewett. I think this is going to be a story to follow as the playoffs kind of begin. Can Derek Jewett mount a deep playoff run in that number 45? We've seen him get calmer and calmer as the season has gone by. Right now, not forcing the issue on that number 39 of Gavin Henson, running two different lines. And right now, I like what I'm seeing out of driver 45.
Yeah, he's definitely, nice and smooth right here behind Gavin Henson. He's recovered from that EOL penalty. We saw the crash that he was involved in earlier. He did receive an EOL, I believe, for that one. So, yeah, he's made a nice recovery tonight. A good little string of races right here. Obviously, picking up the victory a couple weeks ago, is definitely something that, he wanted to have done right there. Man, Gavin Henson is all over the rear bumper right here of Adam Holston, putting a lot of pressure on that number 8 machine as they work their way through turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, the Sundrop machine really trying to pick up the pace on that number 8. Maybe a little more speed as the sun goes down just a little bit. And yeah, Chris.
Yeah, Derek Jewett tagged the wall right there off of turn 2. I don't think the damage is significant right there, but yeah, he did tag it pretty hard right there. And good center of the corner speed out of Gavin Henson. We're seeing those drivers. Yeah, Holston is really, really up high, maybe higher than anybody else right there. And looks like Henson's kind of entering with him in turn 1. Down turn 3 is a little bit different line, but
boy.
Yeah, and turn 1 down here, Ellis, I'll be curious if he does it again right here. He's kind of in line with him at first, but he makes a nice little cut right in the center of the corner. He doesn't quite do it as well as he was doing it before, but good speed out of the 39 tonight.
Yeah, Gavin Henson continues to roll that middle groove, working his way under the 8 of Holston, at least momentarily. Can he draw even? Side by side, this is a battle for the 5th position. Holston's got it. Henson wants it. Henson's going to get it as he climbs the banking. Will Holston force the issue on the outside? No. Henson does take that 5th position. Holston slides back to 6th. Derek Jewett now maybe smelling blood in the water, looking to get to the inside of that number 8, who also draws a bead to the left side of the 39. They're chasing down the lap car, the 77 of Zach White right now. They're going to have to deal with him probably in turns 1 and 2. He gets into the wall. They go down to the inside. Maybe best thing that could have happened for them, getting by on the inside there.
Yeah, absolutely right here. And Adam Holston's going to get back in line right here with the 39 machine of Henson right in front of him. Derek Jewett kind of watching these two guys battling out right here, seeing if maybe he can sneak by one or possibly even both of them as they continue to battle it out right here. But, yeah, Holston slips up a little bit too high right there in turns 1 and 2, tags that outside retaining wall. Not going to be the last time that we see that tonight with this groove seemingly moving up for some of these guys here.
Groove moving up the track. Drivers testing the limits. Maybe a little bit more grip on that outside line, folks. You see the moon has come out. The lights have turned on here at IRP. It's just about 60 laps, 61 laps remaining here in tonight's O'Reilly 200. It's the penultimate, next to last race of the regular season. Just 9 races remaining here in the Fall Creek Plumbing National Series. I can't believe it has gone so fast. We've had so many great moments, and I think the greatest ones are yet to come as we watch Evan Janik and Aaron Espy continue to battle for that 3rd position. I'm trying to keep track of the lap times, Chris, and right now I'm having a hard time because Cody Giles, I think, is blinking in and out, and it's not really giving us accurate lap data, but that time by it looked like they might have been equal laps between Giles and Cochran, so maybe Cochran coming back to Giles here anytime.
Yeah, Cody Giles is very fast, but I promise you folks at home, he did not just run a 6-second lap. Yeah, that's just his connection having a little bit of an issue. The blinking that you've seen out of that 5 machine tonight. Yeah, it does make it a little bit difficult to see how fast he is in comparison to Jacob Cochran. So the only thing that we can really look at is sort of that real time interval between the drivers, and it's kind of maintained pretty
Yeah.
steady here, Ellis, in the last probably about 10 laps, between 2.5 and 3 seconds. So the drivers are very evenly matched, but as we go more and more further into this stage, Ellis, and we begin to hit that crossover point of the most amount of laps they've consecutively run on these tires, I'm going to be curious to see if there's a big shift, if there's a big change maybe, and one driver maybe emerges as being very fast at that point right there, because we never ran beyond maybe like 30, 40 laps maybe at the most in stage 1, stage 2, consecutively. So right now we're working, I think, lap 31 of this stint right here for a lot of these drivers.
And right now, working lap 31. Chris, I have lost my signal, so I'm going to let you take it away because I can't see much right now. So give me just a minute. I'll let you lead it for a second.
Yeah, and we're watching Evan Janik right here with and Evan Janik is one of those drivers that has decided to migrate up further and higher up on the track right here. We saw it earlier with the number 8 machine of Adam Holston. But Janik also in turns 1 and 2, he's one that has all 4 tires up above that dashed line, especially in turns 1 and 2. He's a little bit lower right here on entry. Yeah, because he heard me talking about it and decided to run a little bit lower. Yeah, but yeah, it seems like some drivers are trying to explore a little bit around IRP, around this 0.6 mile track right here, and possibly see, if there's a little bit more grip somewhere. And this is a good time to do it, Ellis. When we got some separation between some of the cars, some of the drivers. This is the closest battle right here for position on track right here between Evan Janik and Aaron Espy, the driver of the number 16 machine.
Watching Janik from on board right now roll his way through turns 3 and 4. That's the third place car. We've talked about him chasing down much of the rest of the field. We're just about 50 laps left, entering the final quarter of this race. Evan Janik in third. Right behind him, Aaron Espy, and that number 16 continues to lurk. Folks in the chat, let us know what you think. Who's going to win this race? Is it Giles' race to lose, or does Jacob Cochran, that number 84, have anything for him? Or maybe a driver a little bit further back. Connor Lyons joining in the chat, saying that's what I call a sunset showdown. Also looking forward to Daytona next week. I think a lot of us are probably looking forward to watching that Cup race at Daytona next week. One car off the track right now, Brett Wren. Things going from bad to worse right now for Brett Wren, Chris. We talked about David Moyer having some trouble early. Brett Wren now slides back to the 11th position, and that might even go further back as he maybe had contact and comes to pit road.
Oh, yeah, and I have it right here, Johnny, if we want to take a look at it, what happened with Brett Wren, and it was around our leader, Cody Giles. Yeah, he comes off the corner right here. They get really close down the straight. Oh, man, and that was... not sure what was going on right there between the 24 and the 5, but yeah, that was very unusual. It was almost like he oh man, and that was so close for Jacob Cochran. Almost some significant damage right there on the number 84 machine. That could have been disastrous for our leaders.
So some big moments there for the leaders. Fortunately, everyone is okay. Brett Wren gets the worst of that. But yeah, kind of an unusual incident. Fortunately, it didn't put us under caution. Right now, Cody Giles still your leader. Jacob Cochran also in second place. Both of those drivers avoided any mayhem. But Chris, I'm looking at the stats right now. Jacob Cochran over the last 4 or 5 laps has eaten away about 4/10. I'm not sure how much of that was related to some of the contact and close calls we just saw, but it's hovering around 2.3, 2.4, 2.5. So slowly but surely, that number 84 is eating away at that lead that Cody Giles has built over the past 30 laps or so. So it'll be interesting to watch if that continues to be the trend or not. If we have a race brewing on our hands right now, Jacob Cochran doing battle with the number 77 of Zach White, who's a lap down and goes another lap down here. Yeah, I don't think we've seen the end of wild racing tonight as the lights continue to get brighter here in Indianapolis.
Yeah, I don't think so at all. And yeah, I think that sort of what was going on right there between the 24 and the 5 right there, I think that did cause it to tighten up a little bit. But yeah, we'll watch it right here over the course of the next few laps and see if Cochran is still able to continue closing in on Cody Giles. We kind of reached that threshold mark, Ellis, where we're kind of in uncharted territory as far as the life in these tires. And yeah, we'll have to be watching any types of changes, maybe in pace for some of these vehicles.
Yeah, and Chris, one of the biggest changes of pace right now, our producer Johnny is picking up on it. One of the fastest cars on the track. Last time by was that 39 of Gavin Henson. He picks up another spot on Aaron Espy there, now scored in the 4th position. That's Gavin Henson, the 39, winless this season. But boy, I'm curious on the long run if Henson might not have anything for the leaders. I think it might be a too big of a lead without a caution right now. The gap is about 7.9 seconds, but he's been fast over the last couple of laps and continues to click away. Pretty fast lap times, opening up about a 4, 5, 6 car length now lead on the number 16 car, which he just got by. And he continues to impress with some of the fastest laps on the track.
Yeah, he definitely is right here. As we're watching him real time right here, close up on the rear bumper of the 71 machine of Evan Janik up ahead of him. And yes, Ellis, he is showing, that he has that long run pace. We haven't been this far on tires all night, and here he is. We figured there would be at least 1 or 2 drivers that maybe stood out as being very fast or maybe falling off the pace. And this driver right here is definitely standing out for his speed right now. And yeah, if he's able to clear, I think he's got to clear Evan Janik fairly quickly. I don't think he can stay behind the driver of the 71 too long right here. Got to make quick work of him to get after these 2 leaders who are pretty far up the road ahead of him.
They're pretty far up the road, but one thing that they're going to have to deal with, we've seen it all night long. Lap traffic is not necessarily easy to get by here. It's a pretty difficult task. The 71 of Evan Janik hits pit road. This is what I believe is probably an expected pit stop, and big swing here, Chris, maybe coming in earlier than any other driver for tires. I think we might be getting ready to see a gamble by the 71 to see if he can't maybe pick up a little bit of time on Cody Giles. It's going to have to be a lot of time, actually. Interesting call here for the 71. We're going to have to keep our eyes on the rest of the leaders, Giles, Cochran, and Henson, as well as Espy, to see how they react to this move.
Yeah, gutsy call right here. Adam Holson has also made a pit stop, Ellis. Yeah, that's a very gutsy call on a short track like this, where cautions are sometimes in abundance. And yeah, if there is a caution, yeah, his night might be over with right now, as Janik is going to go 1, maybe 2 laps down. We'll have to see how it clicks forward right here. But yeah, if the caution doesn't come out, he's going to gain a lot of ground. He's going to gain a lot of time on Gavin Henson is going to be his closest competitor.
This is going to be interesting to watch. Pit stops, green flag pit stops beginning with just 37 laps left to go tonight from IRP. Janik and Holson were the first 2 to come in. Right now, they're separated by about 2 car length, or 2/10 of a second.
Oh, contact
there. The 84 of Cochran going to come down pit road. Oh, I thought he was, but he's not. That's Caleb Hunt. Now Michael Wade. Heavy contact for Jacob Cochran, who's been running second all night long. Extreme difficulties here in lap traffic.
Yeah, and I kind of saw that coming a couple corners before. Yeah, some contact between the 78 and the 8. A couple corners in a row right there before it almost got really bad right there between the 2 of them. They do keep it straight right there, but yeah, that could have been really bad right there for Jacob Cochran. And unfortunately for him, he has lost a lot of ground to Cody Giles, almost 2 seconds to the leader.
And I think that question we were asking about the number 71 of Janik coming in early along with Adam Holson, that might open the window for them at least to leapfrog the number 84, losing almost at least a second over that exchange there with Caleb Hunt and those other lap cars here on lap 166 of 200 from IRP. Just 35, now 34 laps remaining We got Connor asking for a crank it up, Johnny and Chris. I think we need to give the man what he asked for, at least here for a couple of laps. Let's take a pause. Let's take a beat and hear what these engines sound like. Full rev around this 6/10 mile bull ring at IRP. .169 of 200, just 30 laps remaining in the race. And it continues to be Cody Giles watching Jacob Cochran roll around there on the racetrack right now. And waiting to see what these leaders do. We believe they've got one more required pit stop for fuel. Evan Janik has made that pit stop along with Adam Holston. When will the remainder of the field come get that fuel? That is the big question we're all wondering right now, Chris.
Yeah, that is the question right here. And yeah, we didn't get a good fuel number in the pre-race, and I'm kind of regretting that I didn't get it now to know how far these drivers can go on fuel. I kind of suspected that fuel wouldn't be an issue tonight, Ellis, because, you know, this is, you know, such a bull ring, sort of elbows out type of a track right here. You wouldn't expect fuel mileage to ever really be an issue here. So I'm not sure how far these drivers can go on fuel. So yeah, this is turning into quite a nail biter here in the final closing stages of this thing.
A nail biter indeed. Now closing in on the conclusion, 30, now 29 laps to go from IRP. One car down pit road. That's the 3 of Michael Wade. We're waiting for the rest of those leaders to come through. Michael Wade, I believe, was pitting from the 7th or 8th position. Now, the drivers who are yet to hit pit road: Cody Giles, Jacob Cochran, Gavin Henson, Aaron Espy, Derek Jewett, Reggie Kime, Evan Janik now running in the 7th position. Boy, I think things are about to heat up. Chris, as we see these cars starting to come to pit road, I think Evan Janik and Holston might have a shot to overtake Cody Giles for the lead based on the lap times that they're putting down right now.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see right now. Right now, Evan Janik is the second car one lap down, so I think that he probably feels like he needs to get, as he is working his way around the 39 of Gavin Henson. The car that he's really got his eyes on right now is that number 9 machine of Reggie Kime up ahead of him, up the road. He's closing in on that McDonald's machine. If he can get around him, he would put himself in position to get the lucky dog if the caution did come out. That'll be a significant development right here. And yeah, I think he'll work around him fairly quickly right here with these new tires. And so, yeah, I think that I think our race leaders, Ellis, are just thinking a caution's got to be coming any moment now.
And we're running out of laps, and right now the battles on the track have largely simmered. Drivers maybe just
Alan
looking...
Zukov sideways.
Zukov sideways down in turns 4, gets it gathered back up. Race control holds that flag, and we remain under flag conditions, despite what I'm sure Cody Giles, Jacob Cochran, and Gavin Henson were hoping for. We are still clean and green. You see the battle right now going on between several cars. It's the number 39 machine of Gavin Henson trying to work his way by the number 9 of Reggie Kime, a lap car. Henson, 3rd position, trying to close up on Jacob Cochran. He is yet to pit. Aaron Espy going to be the next car to work his way by. And right now, Chris, I'm just trying to hold on because my race keeps on dropping, so I keep on having to log back in to the race. But right now, everything is good. Just about 23 laps left in this thing. Aaron Espy right in the back bumper of Gavin Henson. Maybe try to get one more spot before they come down pit road. It's got to happen any time, but they're holding on, Chris, as long as they can, hoping for a caution.
Yeah, Gavin Henson had a lot of speed, and we thought it was the crossover point right there. He had a lot of speed at that stage of the run. By the time that he worked his way around Evan Janik, we saw him be very fast around that point right there. Aaron Espy's kind of, putting a little bit more pressure right here on that 39 of Gavin Henson. You got the 8 machine back behind these guys right here. That's Adam Holson. He's the second car 1 lap down. He is also on fresh tires. He kind of did the same deal as his teammate Evan Janik right here. He's going to work his way around Aaron Espy, try to set his sights on his teammate Evan Janik. Janik's pretty far up the road and running pretty fast, so I don't think that he's going to be able to work his way around him for the lucky dog position. I think he's probably hoping that Janik can unlap himself naturally.
We're going to find out soon, Chris. 20 laps to go, and I'm seeing some stuff going on in the chat right now. We got beef, maybe. We found out Brett Wren, you saw that altercation between him and the number 5 of Cody Giles. That definitely was a little bit of animosity based on some comments we're hearing come across the comms right now. So Brett Wren has since disconnected, but a little bit of beef there between Cody Giles, the leader, and a couple other cars on the track right now. He is your leader. He's not worried about that. He's worried about getting to this end of the race and seeing that checkered flag and picking up another win. Jacob Cochran slotted into second. Gavin Henson third. Yeah, the big question is, when do these cars come down pit road? I think the longer they are out, the more it's going to play into Evan Janik and Adam Holston's hand, because they continue to pick up seconds after seconds after seconds, possibly trying to work their way back around, as you mentioned, the hard way, get their lap back.
Well, we don't even know if they might be able to make it to the end of this thing. If they can make it, I'm really surprised by the strategy call by the 71 and the 8. That's, you can go a long time on fuel on a short track, this small right here. So I know they're running 80% fuel tanks, but yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the call is right here. But yeah, that's it's very interesting though how this is all going to play out right here in the closing stages of this thing.
If you're just tuning in, don't go anywhere.
Oh, we got a car sideways.
15 laps, car sideways. That's Michael Wade. Can he get it gathered back up? Will there be a caution? Race control holding that yellow flag, and there it is. They throw the yellow. It's going to set up a Saturday night style short track shootout. And boy, Chris, this is bad news for Evan Janik, because Reggie Kime was the first car a lap down. I'm sure Evan Janik's going to take the wave around, but he's not going to have that fresh tire advantage.
Yeah, actually, Evan Janik was the first car 1 lap down, so he is going to get the wave around here. So I think that this is another deal. Maybe, just charge the corner a little bit too hard, maybe a little too much rear brake in that number 3 machine. He was one of the drivers, Michael Wade was, that came to pit road. But yeah, I guess that thing sideways right there. I think race control really didn't have any options right there. That car was kind of stopped. Wade's trying to get out of the way of everybody, but yeah, race control erred on the side of the caution right there. Ellis, I think that Evan Janik, he is going to get the wave around, the lucky dog, but he's going to have to start at the tail end of the longest line, and that's going to be the biggest detriment for him. He's going to be back behind all the cars that are laps down, and that could really hurt his chances here, I'm afraid.
Interesting set of developments. Cody Giles, Jacob Cochran, Gavin Henson, Aaron Espy, Derek Jewett, along with Reggie Kime. They're all sitting in the same spot as we watch them down pit road right now. And you did see Cody Giles win that battle off of pit road. Jacob Cochran going to be second. Gavin Henson third. I don't even know what to expect on this restart. If you are watching right now, make sure you send this to some friends who enjoy good racing, because I think we're getting ready to see an epic finish here from Indianapolis at IRP. So, Chris, do you have any idea what's going to happen here? Do you have a dark horse? Do you have a favorite you're thinking that has the best chances right now based on track position?
Well, I think Cody Giles is probably sitting in the catbird seat right now with being the fastest car all night. He's been getting great launches. He's got a lot of short run speed in that number 5 machine. He's had good long run speed too, but this is going to be a short run right here to the checkered flag. I'd want to be exactly where he's going to be, but look at that cat in second. We've been talking about Gavin Henson all night, how, speedy he was right there on that long run. He's looking for his first win, and I think that this is probably the fastest he's been and probably the best chance that he's had to get one here in recent weeks. So don't count out that number 39 machine. He's hungry.
He is hungry indeed. I believe we're about a lap and a half away from the restart here. What is going to be likely a 9-lap shootout here at IRP. 5 cautions tonight. It's been a relatively clean race. Had a bit of a struggle at the start, a bit of a spate of cautions, a little bit of third way through the race, but that long green flag run certainly set us up for an interesting discussion about tires, but it's not going to matter so much for the top 4 or 5 drivers, Chris. No surprise, Cody Giles takes the inside here for the restart. Gavin Henson electing to go up top. I like that call. You don't want to give up the row. Henson's going to be on the outside. We've seen it work multiple times tonight. Aaron Espy, is he hungry enough to maybe move the 5 out of the way? And then Jacob Cochran, who's been fast as well, sitting back in the 4th position. So, yeah, Chris, this 39, it might be the best chance he's had all season. We're not really going to have to wait to find out. It's going to be 9 laps remaining. The restart's going to be on Cody Giles here in that number 5. He's waiting to get to the restart zone. He watches that flagman hold the green flag in his hand, waiting for Giles to mash the throttle. He does it late in the restart zone. He gets away cleanly. Henson's now going to be in second, but he's got Aaron Espy breathing down his back bumper. He looks to get away cleanly. Espy draws up to the back, gets loose. He's going to give that spot up to Jacob Cochran as they sail down into turn 3.
And Jacob Cochran was ahead of Aaron Espy, but elected to take the top. Kind of gave up a position right here on the restart. Oh, Derek Jewett sideways.
The 45 sideways. Can he hang on to it down into turn number 1? Big moment. Everyone breathes a sigh of relief, the flagman included. We're going to hold on to that flag at least for the next lap or so.
Yeah, and going back to the decision right there of Jacob Cochran, I think it's going to pay off for him. Oh, and he's sideways himself off of turn 4. That spot that he gained on Aaron Espy, he's going to give it up right here as they work their way through turns 1 and 2.
Espy gains that spot back on Jacob Cochran. It's about 8 car lengths that separate first back to second place Gavin Henson in that number 39. That lead has continuously grown over the last 3 laps. Cody Giles is the leader. He appears to have the fastest car, but he could potentially catch lap traffic in the final laps of this race. Just 6 laps to go. Pending any sort of mistake or miraculous last ounce of energy from the 39, Cody Giles setting up for win number 4, but he's got 5 laps left to make that happen. Aaron Espy now sets his sight on the 39 of Gavin Henson. That 16 cars found some speed over the last couple of laps, Chris.
He definitely has right here. Jacob Cochran looks like he is really struggling for pace right here. I expected the 84 machine to be one to watch right here, Ellis, on the on this restart, but yeah, it doesn't look like the grip is in that number 84 machine, and kind of slipping back out of the picture right here for a podium spot.
Slipping out of the picture. He's got to hold on for just about 4 more laps, coming for 3 laps to go. Gavin Henson had a shot on the restart, but did not have the speed to match Cody Giles here. Race number 25, the penultimate regular season race for the Fall Creek Plumbing National Series. Cody Giles not running for a championship. Gavin Henson is. Does Henson have anything left in the tank for Giles? Giles coming around for the 2 to go signal for the flagman. The biggest battle right now is between Henson and the number 16 of Aaron Espy. We continue to focus in on that battle. Henson looks like he's inched away a little bit over the last couple of laps. 2 different lines being run by those drivers, Chris.
Yeah, it looks like Henson right there in turns 1 and 2, a little bit high right there in the center of the corner, but gets a great run up off as he cuts down the hill right there. It's kind of doing the same thing right here in 3 and 4. Kind of like that right here in the final closing stages as the leaders take the white flag.
The number 5 of Cody Giles takes the white flag. He works his way down the backstretch. 3 wins so far this season for the number 5. It's been a drought since Nashville over 6 weeks ago. But tonight, the number 5 is number 1. Cody Giles picks up the win at IRP. Gavin Henson second. Aaron Espy third. Jacob Cochran's going to have to settle for 4th. Evan Janik, bad luck in the end, is going to finish in the 5th position. And I would say Janik, considering the luck that he had there on that final caution, got to be okay with the 5th position finish.
Yeah, it definitely could have been worse for Evan. He's lucky that so many drivers did get the waiver round with him as well as they were trying to get back on the lead lap. And we do have some beef post-race, it looks like, going on between Derek Jewett and Michael Wade possibly. But, tempers do...
Extracurriculars, right?
As they say, tempers do be flaring on the short tracks.
Watching that number 5 do the 4th victory celebration of the season. We're going to hear from our top 3 in just a moment. Give us a second to gear that up, folks. Let us know. Are you happy with the results in the chat? I know some folks were talking about maybe a little bit of hard feelings against the 5. We're going to see what he has to say about that here shortly. But right now, we're going to get Aaron Espy in the booth. Give us just a second. Maybe. Okay, there we go. All right. Hey, Aaron Espy, this is Ellis, Chris, and Johnny up in the Slingshot booth. You got a copy from that number 16 machine.
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, man, long race, tough race here at Indianapolis Raceway Park. Lots of fender rubbing going on tonight. You kept a pretty clean machine out there in that number 16. 3rd place finish. I know it's not the win that you wanted, but talk to us about how that race kind of developed over the course of the night and just how tough it was out there.
We stayed out in that final stage for 60 plus laps. That right front was hurting. So that final caution, I guess we didn't have enough time, but it helped. It started to feel really good. And I think I made a little contact with Gavin there on the restart. So I had to back out of it, but.
Well, man, we were wondering, maybe you could have some insight into this. We were wondering how good the leaders were on fuel had that caution not flown. Would you guys have been able to make it on fuel? We saw a couple cars, the 71 of the 8, come and get tires earlier on in that green flag run, and we thought pending you guys having to come down pit road, they might have been in a good position. Obviously, we never had to worry about that, but were you good on fuel?
Yeah, I was 10 to the good on fuel, and I know Jacob were in team comms. He was also 10 to the good. We were on the same cycle, so we would have made it.
All right, well, that settles that. Gavin, Aaron Espy, good run tonight. I know you're not running for a championship this season. You got any other tracks circled on the calendar this year that you think is your best shot to get back into victory lane after Iowa?
Not really sure. Maybe Atlanta. I think they're running at Atlanta. I'll be back for that. Try a plate race.
All right, we'll be looking forward to seeing you out there. Any shout-outs before we let you go?
Yeah, I want to thank everybody at SRM. Put on a great broadcast. I want to thank all my team at AER, Jacob Cochran, everybody that wasn't there today. They were still watching, so yeah, pretty good result.
All right. Yeah, man. 3rd place finish, nothing to hang your head about. Aaron Espy, 3rd place finisher tonight in the number 16 Golden Corral. Buffets on him, folks. Have a good week, Aaron. We'll see you hopefully next week or in the coming weeks.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir. All right, so you heard from 3rd place. Now it's time for 2nd place, Chris. Gavin Henson, he's joining us. I'll let you take it away.
It's Gavin Henson, our 2nd place finisher. This is a slingshot booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Gavin, you were kind of the star of the show right there on that long run right there in the closing stages of the race. It seemed like that number 39 machine really came to life right there. As you guys were working your way through that final stage. Talk us through your strategy right there. It seemed like you were one of the better drivers at, conserving your tires and had some really good long run pace tonight.
Well, it wasn't by design because I didn't think I was really conserving my tires. I felt like I was driving the crap out of the car, but I was running down to 16 and the 71. So I figured I was doing something right in that regard. But I love the green flag run. It was tough on cool tires and fresh tires. It seemed like my car was just really, really sideways, really loose, touchy off the corners, and I was more than happy for that to stay green. I net gained a spot off that caution, but I was more than happy to see it go green.
Yeah, you were putting on a great show right there, making those passes that you mentioned right there as we continued on green right there. It seemed like it could be fairly difficult to complete passes tonight. Was track position critical out here around IRP?
It definitely was. I mean, you almost had to use them up to get around them, especially if you matched pace. Maybe you're a little bit quicker and you wanted to get by them. It was tough, but you just had to wait for the opportunity when they slip up a little bit and you take the run. I made runs. I was more comfortable on the outside. And if I could get their outside on entry, I would try to wrap it and get the run off the corner. So, but it was fun going up and passing. On older tires, I enjoy that kind of racing. Whenever the run, gets going, you get 30, 40 laps on your tires, or depending on the track. But that was a lot of fun. Second, I would rather won the race, of course, but I had to use a fast repair. I got junked in stage 2, I think. So I'll take a second place.
Well, you're one of those drivers that we keep on mentioning every single week. You're probably at the top of the list right now of drivers that expect to break out in victory lane. We got the regular season finale next week at Bristol, another short track. How do you think you fare possibly on the high banks around Bristol next week?
I think I'll be fine. I don't want to really put an expectation on it because I put a lot of pressure on myself. So we'll just see where the chips fall at Bristol. But as long as if you're in contention at the end, you got a shot. But that's the thing, you've got to be in contention. And if I can do that, I'm fairly confident I could get another good finish and perhaps win.
We'll be watching. We're excited to see you out there. That's Gavin Henson, our second place finisher tonight. Before we let you go, you got any shout outs?
Sure. I want to shout out you guys. You guys do a great job in the booth. I want to shout out my team. None of my teammates are here tonight, so I was an honorary member of Aaron SB Racing. Shout out those guys. Him and Cochran were great tonight. Shout out the league. We're improving every week, so it was a lot of fun tonight.
Yeah, you guys definitely put on a good show, and you were right up there, up in the front, contending all night. So that's Gavin Henson, our second place finisher. Great run tonight. Go celebrate it, man.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, you heard from Gavin. Now it's time to hear from your winner tonight, Cody Giles. Cody Giles, driver number 5. It's Ellis, Chris, and Johnny up atop in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Hey, man. Well, first of all, let's get out of the way. Congratulations. Win number 4 here of the season for the number 5. You put on a good show. You had a dominant car out there tonight. 134 laps of 200 led over the race, over halfway of the race led. I want to jump back to kind of a moment. Let's get this out of the way first. Looks like there was maybe some hard feelings between you and a couple of other drivers out on the track. We saw kind of a tense moment there between you and the 24 over halfway through the race. Kind of walk us through your perspective of what was going on inside that number 5 and whether you felt like the racing was fair out there tonight.
Well, I can't really say anything to about the situation. I mean, the only thing I'll say is like, if you're 2 laps down and you're racing the leader, just like you're on the lead lap and you're second, third, I mean, it's uncalled for. And then come back around and then him try to, right hook me on the straightaway and act like a baby. You know, it's not surprising, but it is what it is. I finished the race, he didn't, so that's it.
Well, let's talk about that race. You had some internet connection issues. I obviously didn't impact you too much, but how difficult was it out there? I know you had a good run, but we saw lots of drivers really struggling with the handling, especially as the runs went on. Was that something you were experiencing, or you felt pretty hooked up all night long?
I felt pretty good at, from the start of the green flag. So, I felt great all throughout the night. There were, minus that issue from, the 24. I felt like I had right front damage, because when he slammed in the right side of me, I thought we had right front damage. Thought the splitter was kind of caved in a little bit on the right front. So that was the only issue that I had in the latter part of the run. On that long run, I thought that we had damage from that incident with the 24. So that was the only issue that I had, or the concern that I had. But overall, from start to finish, like, we just connected and figure out, because the last couple weeks have not been the greatest. I messed up last night. I pit when I shouldn't have pit, and zigged when I should have zagged, and that tonight kind of made up for all that, and we just put it together, and here we are.
Man, you did a good job out there. Next week, we are headed to Bristol for the regular season finale, and if Cochran Giles sounds like a familiar name in Victory Lane at Bristol, that is because it is. You picked up the victory there earlier in the season. I think you might have at least one driver who doesn't want you to pick up that sweep there at Bristol next week. What do you make of your chances there? Are you gonna show up for the race at Bristol to finish out the regular season?
Definitely going to show up. We have a 50-50 shot. Cochran and Janik and SB, a couple guys that are really good on the short tracks. They're going to be tough to beat next week. So I'll try to bring my A game, but it's 50-50, man. It's Bristol. Anything can happen.
That is true. Anything can happen at Bristol. Be keeping an eye on things there for you next week. Before we let you go celebrate that victory, you got any shout outs?
Yeah, man. Twisted Speed, Stay HR, heck, everything that's on that car, man. Shout out to them. Y'all see it, so shout out to them. Shout out to you guys. Y'all do an amazing job in the broadcast booth, so we appreciate y'all every week. We'll try it again at Bristol.
All right, man. We'll be looking to see that 5 out on the high banks at Bristol next week. Cody Giles, winner tonight at IRP. Have a good week, bud.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys.
Absolutely. All right, Chris and Johnny, great race. We saw our fair share of drama. Johnny, what's your impression of what we just saw, and what do you think is going to happen headed next week into the short track at Bristol? You think we're going to see some even more tense situations, maybe a little bit of payback?
Yeah, honestly, tonight it went really well for a short track like this, with these cars that are a handful. Had a few incidents, little bit of tempers flaring and stuff. That's to be expected. But yeah, we got Bristol, and I believe Richmond is the week after that. So it's back to back short track, bumper to bumper action here with the Mystic Racing League. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
Drama. We had our fair share of that tonight, and expect it to continue as the regular season comes to an end next week at Bristol, and we head into Richmond to kick off that 7-race chase for the championship. That should be exciting to watch. Chris, takeaways from tonight?
Yeah, I just kind of want to follow up what Johnny said. What a great job by these drivers tonight. Coming into a short track like this one, we talked about it leading up into it, about how difficult it was to pass here. And I kind of expected a little bit more chaos. I'm not going to lie. Not that I don't have faith in these guys. I just know how the racing is here on this track. And man, they delivered tonight. They did a great job. And in difficult, situations, with a fairly difficult car to drive. And man, Cody Giles, impressive performance out of him tonight. Impressive out of a few drivers. Gavin Henson on the long run. I thought that was a great performance out of him. He's got one more shot in the regular season. He's going to be fine on points, obviously, but I think he's probably our next driver. I mentioned it before that is probably most likely to break through and get that first victory of the season.
Yep. Giles, Henson, and Espy, those were your top three. Let's take a look at the rest of the finishing results for tonight. Fourth was Jacob Cochran, just on the cusp of that podium finish. Evan Janik, bad luck in the end, maybe had a shot for it, finishes fifth. Derek Jewett, after a bit of issues late in the race, finishes sixth. Adam Holston ran in the lead at one point early on in the race, settles for a seventh position finish. Reggie Kime, great finish, another top 10 for that number 9. He brings it home eighth. Michael Wade, seventh tonight. Late race trouble for Wade, putting us under our last caution of the evening. Zach White, top 10. Great run for the driver of that number 77. Chris, I'll let you take away the other half of the field.
And Caleb Hunt is going to bring it home in the 11th spot. We saw him in trouble pretty early on in the race. Alan Zukov is going to bring it home in 12th. Yeah, so, that's the highest finishing driver of those bubble positions, Ellis. Finishes above Brett Wren and David Moyer. Unfortunately for Alan, I don't think he's going to get the points that he needs to, right here, be able to, put himself in a good position at Bristol next week. Beckett Brown is going to bring it home in 14th. We talked about Brett Wren and those issues, possibly some tempers flaring right there between he and Cody Giles. Jared Knopsider is going to bring it home in 16th. David Moyer, needed a good run tonight. Unfortunately, he's going to finish in 17th. Christopher Benning in the 18th spot. And Robert McKay will round out the field, finishing in 19th.
Great race overall. Both of you guys mentioned it. 5 cautions on the evening. We saw some tense moments, but we also saw some great racing tonight at IRP. Folks, we've still got plenty of great racing coming for you up on Slingshot Racing Media. We're getting ready for some more races here, starting a new season, August 20th. We've got the Clash, the preseason opener for the Stand Up Fight Series Invitational. Some of the best drivers in sim racing putting on a great show, hopefully, in Michigan. That's going to be a cool series to watch. These are some of the best, and I think that series run of those Gen 4 Cup cars is going to be a wild one, but thrilling and entertaining to watch. We've got Bristol coming up Thursday, the 21st, for Mystic Racing League in the Fall Creek Plumbing National Series. And then the following week, we've got the season opener for the Stand Up Fight Invitational Series from Slingshot Racing League, broadcast live on our normal Wednesday night time slot. So getting back into 3 nights a week racing here in the 2 weeks. I know it's been a little bit quiet as of the last 2 weeks, but folks, we promise we got more racing coming for you here in the near future. Speaking of the near future, next week, headed to Bristol for the regular season finale. It's going to be awesome. Tempers are likely going to be heated up. Maybe some payback. At the very least, it's going to be great racing. You do not want to miss it. Next Thursday, same time as tonight, folks. We are headed back to the South, Bristol. Folks, if you enjoyed tonight, you're going to enjoy next week even more. We hope that you have a great week, and thanks for choosing to tune in tonight. Have a great week, everyone. We'll talk to y'all soon. Bye.